Hello, hello. My name is Brenda Jean Power, but I've also studied metaphysics for many years. So basically, I am Dr. Brenda Jean Power. And the metaphysics is the nature of being. Who and what are you being today at any given moment? That's up to you, but who's the you? We're going to be talking about the ego today. And, oops, and the ego, I'm going to tell you all about it. But before we do so, there's a lot of changes that's been happening with my life and my show. And we have astrologically, I don't know the name of it, but the basket of energies of four particular planets that have been helping to reshape the way humanity is, the way we think consciously. And it's up to us to decide what kind of timeline in the future we want. So, what am I talking about? And what am I talking about? I am talking about what's coming up next for me. And you have to be okay. Oh, goodness. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's not supposed to happen. I had to change my name. You can't be married to the name. I love the name Medicinewoman Solution. That's Soultion, but sometimes you cannot dictate to the world until you can. You can start to tell the world who you are and what you are, but it'll be in little micro doses because it's so huge. Hi. Um, I'll be with you in a few minutes. So what happens is that with the algorithms, I'm not getting the message out there about how to use tools to help your emotions that help change your thoughts. So I had to change and follow the flow of the algorithms, which hopefully will make sense to some. So I've started another YouTube channel. This one is basically is Medicinewoman Solution, S-O-U-L. Oh, I changed it to SOLUTION, but it is classics. And then we have the new channel that's spelled correctly. And that's where I'm learning to rebuild again. And people are like, again, you got to build from scratch again. Well, when you start something like the second, third, fourth time, you're starting from experience instead of scratch. And when you're starting from those experiences, you can cut through all of those, what we call red tape, or we cut through all of those things that would stop us and block us. But we're learning different ways, and we can't imagine that we know everything all at once. So when you're stepping into a new phase of your life, you may have to learn, and you have to decide what it is that you want to do, how you want to do it, and you need time. Do you do it with your ego? Do you use it with spirit? And I'd hope to God that you would learn to use it with your authentic self, the integrating of the ego, healing your personality so that you don't have to keep losing power and keep doing this karmic thing. So now that you know that I did create a new Facebook page and a new YouTube page, I would like you to support that. And let's move into this new area together. And it was a soul decision that I knew that was right because it was time. So putting it out there, go like my channel, go and help me, help you, help the world and the human consciousness to help you to evolve. Now I'm trying to figure out why this one picture looks fuzzy. That's okay. I've been studying for years about what an ego is. What is the ego? How does it function? Why do we do it? And it's important that you all begin to know this. Hi, I actually can see. Yay! Hi, Nikki. Hi. for some reason, I can't see the rest of my chat video, but I will get there. Welcoming people in that I haven't seen in a while. And it's good to, you bond with people on a whole different level. And so anyways, yes, I created a new name. There you go. There's other people. Hi, Amy. Okay, now we're letting people in. Wasn't sure if it was working. The ego, just think about what is your interpretation of it. Most people, we just be a child. You copy and mirror neuron and match your family, and then eventually you start to break away, and you may have the, terrible twos, and then I don't know what you call the teenage years, but you have these stages. Well, by the time that you hit 30, right about in there, you've already memorized everything about who and what you're going to be. Now, this is where you on a soul level need to wake up and say, I kind of want, I want to grow up now. Okay, I'm 30. I want to grow up. And what does that mean? You have grown up. No, you have the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual part of you. If you want a happier life, then you need to connect with your heart and your brain. And your brain is just a machine, but it needs to be operated by the mind. But if the mind is the ego versus your soul, then there becomes the problem. Because when we constantly, the moment that we as a soul come into the womb, we're doing separation. But it doesn't mean disconnection. It doesn't mean that you can't use that energy with spirit to move forward. So my job is to help wake you up. The younger kids, I just give them the tools they need to help them through their emotions so they can use emotional regulation, and it raises their EQ. I help adults do the same thing. It doesn't matter what age you are. I just turned 59, and it was like, whoa, that went fast. But for ever since I've basically moved to Australia, I became more and more of my authentic self. My physical health began to get stronger. My emotional self, I have become more emotionally regulated. I don't have to do a knee-jerk reaction. I would have to say that, you have to understand that you're not killing off the ego. What did you all hear when you were learning about spirituality when you first got into this? Okay, so you're going to do meditation. You're going to bypass your busy false brain, you know, but what else do you need to look at, right? And what else have people told you? And because you're like, before AI and before any of that, what is the ego? And you don't have to kill it off. You don't have to let it always be in charge. That frontal lobe, which creates reality, that it makes executive decisions, you as a soul need to become in charge of this. But you have to understand, as an awareness of being responsible for your emotions, your thoughts, how you create reality. And I never understood the word, what is reality? And I was in the field for a long time until I really dove into it with my dissertation. And wow, the brain is amazing. And when you don't have that heart-brain coherence, meaning you're allowing your soul and the aspects of love just be this cohesive love with much wisdom, understanding the parameters. And as you begin to do this, you start to turn, and the things that used to annoy you, you're like, yeah, I can't even be bothered anymore. You grow. You're pushing forward. I need to do this. I need to move in this direction. And you start to hear with your spiritual sense, but you hear it more with your heart, not the ego heart, but the heart that is with the way that spirit and you represent love. And you're not doing it because it's the right thing to do. You're not doing it because everybody's watching. It is a knowing and a sense and a deep sense of you that go, oh, I don't want to feel this way anymore. I don't want to think this way anymore. I don't want to keep attracting in. If I'm already in alignment at any given moment, and this alignment is what I'm looking at is pretty bad, then my inner world needs to be changed. The value systems, that value container, what's important to you. If safety is important to you, you may sacrifice certain parts of yourself. You may sabotage certain parts of yourself. You understand what I'm saying? And there's a lot to know here. So we're going to just take this little section called the ego. And when I'm reading energies, there are 8 patterns that I see specifically over and over and over, but many emotions. And we kind of, as a normalcy of what a human is, we whittle everything down to conclusions. One, a conclusion. This is it. Becomes my excuses, my reasonings. This is, yeah. So you're like, okay, okay. And but that is to make sense of your world, because if you had a shock and you over identified with matter, and you stayed that way, as you're processing emotions and thoughts, and that, my friend, is you disconnecting from your soul. That is you responding. But if you stay there, you got 90 seconds. And if you start learning how to be your soul, then that 90 seconds to feel it and dissipate the emotional chemical peptide and choose again with your soul, you can save yourself a lot of heartache. Do you have to always take offense? Do you got to do this? No, you don't. And I'm going to walk it through the best I can. So let's just take ego. Again, we're going to be talking about the ego pattern. This is the personality conditioned pattern that I see in the way we are as a human before you start to grow to become a spiritual human. So the ego is an electric and magnetic. So electromagnetic, that's the E, electromagnetic, because everything and all things are electromagnetic. This is how reality becomes real, because it is different frequencies and different vibrations, and this is slow enough that we can see it, we can feel it, we can use our sensory systems. Okay, now electromagnetic, now the G is guiding. These electric energies are guiding. Okay, so when you have that electromagnetic, refers to energy, vibration, and frequencies, and then that guides and acting as a directional force or navigating system. So it could be part of your GPS, but depends on who's operating, right? And the O is Omni, Omni-apparition. Omni meaning all powerful, all present, universal. And the apparition is a visible manifestation, the spirit or light form. Now, people say, well, I'm just a body that has a spirit. No, you are a spirit that is being, and you have vibrated this body, the spirit, into shape. So ego is an electromagnetic guiding omni-apparition. Now, when you, as the soul, don't remember that you're a soul, you are feeling that separation, that abandonment, that loss, that drop from 500 hertz of love. And as you start to drop down, especially beyond the 200s, as you drop, you experience, the soul is experiencing what isn't love. So we can go, oh my goodness, I know what love is. It's not this, not this, not this. But we don't say that. We don't get the wisdom. We just go, oh my God, we as a soul have beamed ourselves, our spiritual selves in here, and the soul is a recorder. But as you beam yourself in here, your cells have a little code all around it. Every person has their own code. So you can't really miss, beaming into your body. You're like, this is my code. And as you drop into this energy field and you start to separate and feel abandoned, the energy don't go away. It's always solid, it's always present, it's always strong, but it's how we use our gift of awareness and our observation. But it is when you put on not just this physical suit, but the emotional body, the mental body, so that the physical body and the spiritual bodies can communicate. We wanted to know what love wasn't. Okay. So as we drop, as we drop, we allow ourselves to experience. Now, you can experience and be happy, but that the moment that your experience becomes less than love, you can't help but go, oh my God, or oh my God. You're staring at it. But this processing, this experience, there's a glitch. We are so hyper focused here. We don't know what's going to happen next. It could be like Schrödinger box where the cat was when with the radiation. When we open, is the cat going to be alive or dead? And a lot of people think that's just an experiment. But if you think about different experiences, you don't know what's going to happen next. So we always gravitate towards the negative because our EQ, our emotional quotient, is not strong enough. It's not learned. The tools weren't present. We didn't learn them at home. We didn't learn them at school. We didn't learn them at church. But taking accountability as a soul and learning to transform these, oh my God, experiences, and we can measure them because they're there. They're yours. But the question then becomes, what do you want to do with it? What do you want to do with it? Now, if you're in your ego, you won't know it. You'll just be the issue. You'll just be the pain and the suffering. You'll just be. You guys understand what I'm saying? And when you're just being this pain and the suffering, then it becomes a big issue. Because if all you can focus is with suffering and pain, then you are ordering from the universe more of it. And when you order more of it, you then go, oh my gosh, and you can't stop focusing. And you become more of what you see, the more of what you feel. In your left brain, when you start to disconnect from that and truly believe that you're separated, your right brain kind of just can't come online because fear and different parts of your brain are going to take over, and you'll go from beta, like me talking consciously to you. And as you become conscious of your actions, of the way you talk, but here's the thing, the moment you become conscious that you are expressing some negativity or a negative emotion and you're feeling, and people are telling you stop to feel, stop. That's not what we're saying, don't stop. It means recognize where you're putting your life force. Okay? So you will kind of shut down the right brain. You'll disconnect the heart. And your heart's going, oh my God, I need to protect because it's got to survive. The left brain has no clue. Its main job is to come up with a reason. So, and I've talked about this experiment many times about how they would show a word like walk, and then they cut the brain in half, and the right side says, oh, you mean walk? Yeah, that's what that is. But if the left brain can't see it, the left brain will say, oh, I got up. Why'd you walk? Because I got up because I was thirsty. That wasn't the truth, but it was logical reasoning for the left brain. Now, if you're not home as a soulful spirit, then you're not going to understand the logic, the whole spiritual logic. When you have the wholeness and the integration, your left brain and your right brain start to work together. Now, left brain is conclusion. This is it. It's the truth, even though it may be not truth. But then you hold on to it. You're feeling it. You're saying, that's how I process. You as a soul and a spirit come down inside, and then all of a sudden you're experiencing life, and something bad happens. You go, and this is the lens. You're looking at the ego, electromagnetic guiding omni-apparition. You're looking, and you're going, oh, look at that, look at that, oh, look at that, look at that. And all of a sudden you went, oh my God, look at that. You become that experience. You become, and you wear this experience. And the body, this is where I have found, anytime that you so over-identified with matter, it will alter, the environment will alter your DNA. And when it does that, you don't know it, but the body then has to protect itself. The values, the safety, security, stability, sanity, serenity, and that space, that freedom becomes altered from that experience. And then you start to build a life from it. And the body then takes shape, and some of the meridians will start to go, you have this disruption. So you have joy, but you're living the interrupt, and you've adapted, which is great. But the problem is the body takes this hit. And it's not that it chose, I'm not going to forget this. It is altered. And you build that life around it. And left brain says it's this. That ego is the I minus the soul, minus God, minus this. Ooh, very good. Someone is using the 13 ghost points. Very good. Definitely, you need to strengthen it. Good on you. You need to strengthen that aura, and somebody's actually doing it. This is what tribal basics are for, to strengthen that aura. And there's more to it. And eventually I'm going to teach all this. But when you have that disconnect, and you're like, what? You don't know that you're disconnected. You don't know that maybe your energies and you are beside yourself, and that you are just the problem. You're wearing the issue. You're wearing that point in time. And then your body feels like you're driving around with your one foot on the brake and one foot on the gas, and you're wearing an erosion and creating the DNA and all that to change. The ego is meant to protect you. I take offense to that. Oh, did you believe it that they said this? I was walking by getting something out of the grocery store, and as I'm walking this way, this girl comes, oh my God! And I'm like, okay, I needed to see that. And then I go around this other corner, and this lady goes, ah, he says to her, you're such a gaslighter. She goes, I know, I'm so proud of myself. And he's like, I know, you're so good at it. And I'm thinking, why do we have to be proud that we won something over, that we hurt another soul, that we, because we have to protect ourselves. And so where is the authentic self? Now, ego authentic self is that I'm proud of this and I'm proud of that, and I'm, and they just, you gotta not lose your power. You can't let anybody win one over on you. Yes, learning the disassociated stages, exactly. But to cling to these patterns of survival minus your soul or your heart, people want to know why they are physically sick. People want to know why they have mental and emotional issues. People want to know, but yet they don't know they're asking. They could be screaming the question from the rooftops. And then when you start to present the answers, they're like, I didn't ask that question. And it's like embarrassing. No, I got no issues. I'm perfect. It's like, really? Are you? How's it working for you? That could be in that manner. But it's so important that you wake up. What part of you? Who's supposed to wake up? Do you guys even know this answer? This movement, this 5D experience, what are we waking up from? We're waking up from the ego. We're waking up from that part of ourselves that's just the survival mode. And then it has these patterns and strategies and programs that to survive with other humans. But we are in this next part of the world where we're learning to have a grand convergence so that we can evolve the soul and the heart and the mind and that authentic self and learning to be one with yourself, that integrated unity. And a lot of people say, well, I can't even be alone with my own thoughts. Maybe we should start by healing that. So the ego was formed to experience. The ego, when our heart and our mind is in place, then we can be in charge of that lens and say, yeah, no, I take my power off that. I'm going to put my power here. Oh, I'd like to experience this, even though I know that there's going to be a beginning stage, which the world tells me I'm supposed to go, oh, I failed, I can't, and go through all that negativity. But the spirit goes, but do I have to? Really? The ego says, well, that's how we learn. But if you have your whole self and you start using your whole brain and your whole, heart brain connection, you're going to notice. Who's going to notice? If you can learn to be your third option, if you can learn to be an integrated spiritual human, if you can learn how to use the left brain and the right brain, the yin and the yang, and when you learn to do this, then the noise that would distract you, the gnawing of the teeth, the stuff that would stab you, you don't care anymore. You're like, no, because you know how to process the emotions. And so as I began on my journey, I noticed my thoughts of negativity. I noticed what I was manifesting every single day. I noticed, and I'm like, can't something be changed? This is ridiculous. I don't know. And I didn't know I was talking to my soul. I don't want to do this anymore. And it had nothing to do with giving up my life. I want to live, and it's not in me to hurt me in that fashion because I value this vehicle. I didn't know, but I'm knowing more now that this vehicle is important to me, especially after the age 50. It's very important to me. And how do you get your body to get healthy, to cooperate, to go to the next thing that you need? How do you? Well, it begins by understanding that you're just not a physical being. Now, how do you know if you're an ego? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. The question is, if you're going to learn about what ego is, electromagnetic, guiding omni-apparition, and this lens was, there to help you see and experience and interact with people. But the moment that you emotionally went, ah, and you started to wear each experience and adapt and to change and to survive, you need to pull that off. But how do you know to pull it off? Most people don't. Okay, so you need to be able to. Oh, there goes my video or my camera. Sorry about that. In Facebook land. Oh, that was funny. You guys didn't have to see it. Now it won't stand up. Oh, great. Why won't it stand up? I did something. There. Sometimes we need to just had to plug in my battery on this device. The more that we begin to understand that we don't have to be the over-identification of I, and this identity that I am my story, I am my pain, I am my suffering, I. When you begin to realize you don't have to be that, that there's a soulful part of you. And you can't just wake up and live it every day. You got to process those emotional chemical peptides when you did take that lens of life and over identified with it. And this is where you have to heal backwards. And a lot of people are like, what are you talking about? You have to take this moment that you can only see. You got to choose this timeline that you're looking through. But as you take this moment, okay, that you can only see, you got to stop over identifying with the emotions. You got to stop living by the conclusions because your left brain's going to lie to you. Not because it's evil, it's just that's the way the left brain works. I was sitting there one day, years and years ago, and I said something, but I felt proud of it. And then another part of me was like, well, why'd you say that? That hurt them. And it, what do you call that? The conscious, conscience, conscious. My conscious got to me. My conscious. But I became self-conscious. Not that I was insecure. It was with my soul. I'm like, was that necessary to be said? Did I need to do this? Did I need to be defensive, justify everything, and do a non apology? Did I need to minimize and harm? Did I need to do a spiritual bypassing? Did I need to be inferior complex? Do I need to do a perfectionism? Do I need to do image management or pretend not to judge while I'm judging? Do I need to blame the shadow, the littles, or the traumas? And I'm like, what? At first, when we begin to wake up, we're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's because of my littles. And you understand more of the concept. But it's those other ones like minimizing because, oh, that's a trait. Yes, I'm going to hold power. And when I had to experience this about, do I want this person in my world? Now, I'm told I have to. But here I am. I just got my doctorate. And I told Facebook, I told my husband and told, my friends, but that's it, right? Well, my husband was so proud of me that he wanted to scream from the rooftops because he knows I've been working so hard and so dedicated to understanding metaphysics. He was super excited. So he thought, I'm going to do this with family. I'm going to do this with an experience. And he was so happy. And then the person in the room, I didn't know it hit me at first because I never trained myself to see it. And this projection showed this ring of this person. And it dawned on me that that's what I grew up with. This is how you survive. This is how you be. And they were minimizing all my efforts. And the energy just went, "Oof." My husband's like, what? And he's feeling a little deflated. What's going on? And I just said, it's okay. This is maybe family, but this is not my love, healthy family. This is personalities fighting against each other. We didn't stay long. We left. But I didn't have to accept that their truth about how they minimized all the hard work and put themselves on the pedestal of how they had a bigger achievement because their boss said, Good job. I began to understand this ego protection pattern, but I didn't have to play the victim. I was, I see it. I call my energy back. First, I was like, what's going on? But then I had to heal backwards, which means I started using soul codes. I call them soul codes because that's when people call me up or they want a session, whatever they pay me for, it's usually is, oh, okay, yep. You're in a crap show. This is what's going on. Okay, let's hold. And then I'll say like R1S or L2D, and they know how to measure and hold, and they feel better after about 15 minutes, and they start to get the wisdom to not just how they behaved, but how somebody was behaving towards them. But when you take tribal and you start learning, you understand that your inner world creates your outer world, and there may be issues that have not been resolved, or there may be a disrupt that you need to heal to get your power back. It's not just about emotions. And as I begin to teach, it's like, okay, do you know what it feels like to take a defense? Oh God, that hurt. And we walk around is hurt. We don't realize that we are taking offense and we're being very defensive, or that we have self-denigration, because in that moment as a child, I believed that they were right, I was wrong, because that's what I was grew up as the pattern. But as the adult of healing and growing with my soul, I'm projecting out something where I had lost power before, and the new stand in to do this was this person. Where have I seen this before? And I didn't have to take offense, but my body alerted me. I said, body, are you telling me? And it was like I stood back. I'm projecting you to do this so that I can heal something I can't remember as a child. And when I took that emotion, instead of telling the left brain to go into high beta, which is stress, and to create all these stories to be the hero and to protect myself, and they're the enemy, and I thought that way because I was a child, but I'm not the child anymore. I'm 59 years old, right? Well, at the time I was 50 something. I don't remember what it was. But I had done a lot of emotional work, which helped change the mental stories. But when you do spiritual work, you don't have to spiritually bypass it. You don't have to use the lingo. You don't have to just pretend, you do the hard work using crystals, meditation, yoga. I love all those things, but there's more to it. So I have a tool belt full of all kinds of things to get me through all those stages and layers. But as you heal right where you are, and your soul keeps telling you that you keep choosing to be hurt, wake up from it. Start taking that overidentification of the lens off and go, yeah, do I really want this as I get older? And when I grow up, as a soul, do I want this? Do I still want to always react as a child, where my life force had that experience and I took a big chunk of it and said, this is it. And so every day I have to go through the whole story of what happened at 2 years old. And why are you so mad? Well, when I was 2, I had this happen to me, and you haven't gotten over it yet? What? What do you mean? There's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots that we can talk about. A lot. But if you can understand the lens, the ego is a lens. How does your soul look through the lens? Does it look through and create and vision reality? Or does it look through, overidentify, And all you're doing is looking through your face and stuck at that moment of the disrupt. And this is where you have to adapt and create your world from here. And you got to protect, you got to protect, you got to protect. Stress, 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 stress. Our bodies, now we have aged, we start to mellow, we go through things, but our body is saying, well, you got your foot on the brake and the gas same time, and it's starting to wear down, and this is what we call aging. Thank you. But why do you need to be that 3D person? Why do you need to be the survival over-identified self? You don't. This is where we're learning to understand that when you over-identify and you start to wear your ego, then your ego has to protect the identity that was created in the moment of the interrupt. That it has to be proud of how it survived or how it did this. Like, I was combing my hair this morning, and as I'm combing it, I'm like, oh, I wear this with pride. And I'm like, I do? My spirit is like going, just listen to the word. Oh, this is my pride and joy. It is? I do like my hair. I look shitty. I look so bad with short hair. But anyway, your ego will, why do trolls get to people? Because you are this lens that you're identifying with matter, and you are there to protect the identity. You're there with your pride, and you have to protect this self-image, and but that is not the whole you. It's important to know you do not have to be your false persona, your overidentification with matter. You do not have to be alpha or beta, the yin and yang of, oh, the extremes. Those are just meant to be experiences. You gather the wisdom from all of it. You gather the wisdom. And you live by the wisdom, and you learn to take off these masks, and you learn to look around and see a bigger picture instead of conclusions. I live by conclusions. I live by this. By the age of 30, you're just a memorized program. You're the first AI. But as you wake up, and you have different stages of when the Saturn return happens, and mine is hitting again. And I love Medicinewoman Solution. That's Soultion. But then that was a phase, that was a stage. Now you're ready for the next one. Don't be married to the name. Don't let it own you. And I'm like, yeah, don't let it own me. You are correct. And so then I called my energy off it and I says, this is changing, isn't it? And so then I learned all about the algorithms. I learned a ton of things about the videos and YouTube and all of this, and the things that I didn't want to have to expend all my energy in because it's so hard to learn. And well, it's not anymore. Experience is that God has given you that you can get more information. It's more easy at the fingertips. And if you keep saying, thank you, Spirit, you keep getting more and more answers so you can grow. So the first thing I need you to understand is that ego needs to be addressed. The ego and its protection, and what does the ego stand for? I'm sure you can tell me now. The ego protection, when you over-identify with matter, you are now the conclusion of that interrupt experienced. And so then the ego is edging God out. We want you to become whole again. We want you to have a heart-brain coherence. We want you to move your soul to be in charge of the frontal lobe. Why? Because my experience of letting life just happen to me and understanding how it's happening, or I'm just the victim, all of it, I don't have to. when you can wake up and notice that your sensory system doesn't need to be so lit, so overstressed, overstimulated, overwhelmed, and you start to work with the physical form, you start working with the soul, and you start handling these spiritual issues that keep repetitively making the physical form have this life and this health and this issues. And no, you can become in charge. Well, I hope you stay with me in the next half. We're going to be talking about whatever the clients want, whatever people want. So we'll have one person coming on the show, and I believe another person has a chat. And it looks like where did half of my audience go? I don't know. But glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. And spirit always brings the right people to you. Okay. So April Lynn, we're going to start with you, and I believe you are in the room. Okay. Just give me a shout that I know. Hi, Teresa. Hi, how are you? And if you're new here, you get a free reading. She says, whatever spirit wants. Ooh, made a break. Can I read the rest? That's up to you. Okay. So, April Lynn, let me know you're here. And if you're not, then I will still give that read. I can do it now, or I can do it after. Now, if you would like to, you can pay 5, 15, or 25. 5 and 15 is depending on how short or medium your read is, or you can come live, and I'll send you a link, and you can come on live. With the new YouTube, Medicinewoman Solution, that's spelled correctly. We're going to do everything in short form, and the longer videos will happen here. The lives I can't do yet until I get more people and time goes by. But thank you for the support offhand to understand that there's a second Facebook page, and a second YouTube page. Oh, she's ready. Good. She is here. All right. So Miss April Lynn has paid for a chat. And so this is what we're going to, oh, there goes my camera again. Okay. Behave, little camera. Is that part of her reading? Not in this time. Gotcha. Not at this time. Ooh. So did you see that I put at the, oh yeah, your birthday is tomorrow. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, April Lynn. And, there's Vicky. Wonderful. Okay, let me get a drink. It feels good to be the age that we are, aren't we? For a split second, April, it was like, I'm 59. I'm like, ego? So you lived longer than most of the people that you loved. How about we go past 100? I'm like, the more I make my life happy, amen to that. Spirit wants me to grab something, and I'm like, gotta pay attention here. Gotcha. Okay. So your spirit constantly always knows what you want to learn, and I make it my own deck at some point. So they're called soul deck. Oops, what was it? I can't see your comment. Just a second here. 144 or more. I don't. Yes, I agree with. Oh, I agree. This one under this one, and these two. So as I begin to start using my soul deck a little bit more, I have to. It takes a while to create things. So Spirit already knows what she's working on and what she needs to do. So we want to always heal this is what the deck's for, is to heal this interrupt. and help you see where you are on your path. And does that make sense? Hopefully it does. I just got to get something here. All right. Now you had, can I say what you wrote? Can I say what you wrote? Oh, okay. I can say that she's made a breakthrough. And because of that, it is based on what her soul wants her to heal next so that she can heal backwards. And that is what I am doing. So the first part is a collapse pattern. And the collapse pattern is that you were stuck in, okay, were stuck in. Says the night, see, I haven't named them yet. That's the things, I got them by numbers. So that's not going to help you. Is the mental body is running ahead of the emotion body. Okay, so this card, when it's reversed, is that you overthink. You just, so the overthinking loops, the hypervigilance, there's only one way, and that's rigidity, a little, your little state trying to outrun the pain instead of process it. A collapse in the yin field, so there's no receptivity, a pause, and no breath. Okay, so this is in reverse. So you then can have the physical thing that where your yang is spiking and your yin is not containing and holding. So yin is about giving and or receiving, and the yang is about giving. But part of your body is that your yin is to give when it's meant to always receive and contain and hold and help and support when the yang is supposed to give. Well, if this yin is collapsed, then yang will just be like inflammation, out of control, overthink, and there's nothing helping to contain it. So you're learning how to collapse patterns. And so that means as you are spiritually taking charge and working on the emotion and seeing these patterns and saying, I've got another choice point, it's showing me that you are beginning to collapse this pattern. And that means that yin is starting to say, I'm here to receive the yang and help do my part. Now, the next is a high primary soul card, and it is like the first breath after the collapse. So you're at that, there's this clarity and orientation, the inner guidance is rising, and the energetic is that your yin is being restoring. Okay, so it's learning to, oh, I don't have to collapse, so it's learning to restore. Your emotional body begins to hydrate, and eventually they'll start to communicate more so that yang and yin and yang can do more of the function that they're meant to do. So that tells me that yeah, what you said was true, that you had made a breakthrough, better understanding my littles, needing more information to process. Okay, stuck in a program I could not see any other way I can see. So these next two cards, and so to help you move forward more is, let's just, okay. So the deep emotional body is where you're at. And we're looking at the pain that you had the interrupt and you stored as reality that this is This is me. This is my identity. This pain is me. So the pain that surfaces once the mental body stops running the program. So you started to stop the program, and now this means that the emotional body is going to be speaking. It's going to give you, you'll feel it probably first before words will come, because you are stopping the mental process and just, this is what it means. This is what, no, you got to pause in between. So the mental body is interrupted through old wounds. And so even though it will come up, you're starting to, instead of just a knee-jerk reaction, you're, oh. So you, can I ask you, your littles are like, you can tell when they're telling the truth from their opinion because it's very limited, but it's there. The adult self is filtering through past traumas, and the boundary part of you is inverted, which means you protect others from your truth. You cut yourself instead of cutting the pattern. So you have a mother's wound, but it is reversed. So it's like, I don't feel that. Don't say that. Don't need that. And those are a certain amount of protection that causes you to, so listen to, you got to listen to your words, because you're at this really good point. And so spiritual, like, did I just think that? Did I just say that? Did I just put, don't feel that? So it's like, I'm not doing that. And yet you might be. Does that make sense? You might be. The energetic mechanics is the yin is yielding, but it's open, but it's unfiltered. Okay. And the emotional body is online, but it's very disorganized. So we have to go clean up that particular emotional field, because you got a knot in there. So because you got a knot in there, you can't see the mess. The mental body is listening to the left brain going, oh, well, I have to do this, I have to do that, da, da, da. And it has to always constantly make sense. You need to tell it to say, shut up. You don't need to make sense of this. I just want to listen and feel. Okay. And this is what you need to do. So I was just thinking, do we need to work on the, no. Okay. So I would definitely say L2S, because the way you self-regulated yourself was that you mentally would come in and not doing it. So you took a big chunk of yourself and left it in the knot. And now you need that life force that's in the knot and bring it back. And I think it's an L2S that you need to do that process. Now, the next part that you need to work on, the emotional body disorientation. Okay. That means the littles finally have options. So when the little came up with, it must be this, and again, it's going to be very limited in how it does it, because it doesn't have a whole bunch of information. And so it's stuck in a joy point, okay? But it's also can't hear any joy, because the interrupt is saying, this is how I keep myself safe. This is mine. This is what's real. And you have joy, but it is tied to, I must wear this in order to survive. Now, in order to really get joy to work more than its limited self, is to allow yourself to what you need to look at next. Okay. So the energy, so as the emotional body is finally getting to expand, and the yin field is widening. The mental body is overrun by the emotional data. But you don't have to have that happen, because when the emotional body begins to bring in more data that it was limited to, but allowing more data. So how do we want to say this? We have 400 billion bits of information that come at us at once. We can take in 2,000 bits, but if the emotional body says I'm supposed to take in 500, but I'm only taking in 100, but now you're healing, you get to take in a little bit more. That can be seen as a threat. That could be seen as I don't understand. The brain may reject. But when you start to feel a little bit more, just become aware and then hold right wrist, first position soft, because it's not crossing the territory. It's just you can stop shutting it off. Because we need to get this emotional body to expand to its full potential and to be able to breathe. And right now it's not. It's very limited. So we have to reorganize. We have to help you get to full capacity. So as you're learning about your mental field, and you know that the mental field relies heavily on the emotions to determine what kind of words to use. The emotional truth from your soul is rising, and it's going to come to the challenge with your littles that survived, your first choice, your first reaction, your first way that you solved your issue. And to help you understand, the first is you were little, you had an issue, and how you solved it, and it worked as a child. Now, as you get older, I'm going to try this, it failed. I'm going to try this, and it failed. And I tried this, and it failed. And I tried this, and it failed. That's because the root is this first time that you did it is saying, no, we don't care about that. We have to do it this way. But now it becomes a stumbling block. And now it is, this doesn't serve me anymore. But that spirit part of you has to wake up to go, I got to see it first. I got to understand it first. So we want you to start healing at those levels I was telling you about. So I guess in a way, I want you to notice that we're breaking down the mental prison and going to help you expand. You are going to help you expand the emotional body so it can learn to breathe. I said, is there anything else particular that you'd like her to know? You have to use the word disapprove, disapproval, disapproved of, disappointed, disapproval, approval. You need to take and use those words. Define it for yourself. Say, thank you, Spirit. Show me what it is that my littles couldn't see, or any part of me. Show me where I need to grow. And as you have an experience, we always want it with grace and ease. So on a whispering opportunity. So watch what you're watching on your media or watch your movies, but listen and train yourself with spirit goes, did you see that? And you're like, oh yeah, it's tied to this, because this is you working on this issue. Okay. That's your homework. That's your soul work. And you already got your soul codes. Thank you so much for caring about yourself and supporting this network. Supporting this station. What is she supporting? She's this movement. There we go. Got the right words. So like I said, if any of you are looking for, and if you want a free reading, you may have one. If you want, you can pay 5, 15, or 25. That is up to you. I'm just double checking to see where we're at. And I really appreciate your support of each week, and the people that come each week. I'm so thankful for you. And I'm just, this is why with April Lynn, she's paying, but I gave her more time because she's so dedicated to herself, but she's also dedicated to this movement. And I'm just proud of that. And we'll see you tomorrow in tribal. So I want to look at Vicky. She has really been dedicating herself to growing on such a soul level. And she's in tribal and she comes to the shows. And Spirit has said you had worked on something in tribal. And with the soul cards and the topic, that they would like you to see if you could heal something so that when you come to tribal tomorrow, you will like be ahead or whatever. Does that make sense? May I, and am I allowed to draw you a card, Vicky? Hopefully you're still here. Because, and I don't know if Autumn's here or not. Teresa, I see Teresa's here. For those that are so dedicated, it's like I need to give back to those that are constantly here and reward those that are, you know. So we will look and see. Yes, proud of yourself. So am I, because this pride is not of ego. This pride is of this integration with your soul. And it's okay to be proud of yourself. You don't have to have, if there's fear in it, that's not the right pride. If it is worry and seed of doubt, that's not the right pride. But when you're sitting with your spirit and you realize how far you've come and you're not comparing yourself to anybody else, you're using the catalog of life to say, how do I want to navigate the next, years? How many years you have? That's up to you. How can I navigate this moment? Does this make sense? Okay, so Vicky may not be here. Well, if she does come, I do have a card for her. Again, I'm using soul code cards, but I have to use a different deck in order to. You don't need to know that. Thank you for your support. Go over and like the other YouTube channel so I can get it up and going, and the Facebook page. Okay. I am going to go get the link. There we go. And what else am I missing? I forgot to turn that on. That's okay. No big deal. So Miss Amy, are you ready? Are you ready? And you guys having a good time in learning? Is Nikki still here? Is Nikki still here? Okay, let me get this, shrink this and get into the right screen. Maybe. That it? No, that's not it. Hmm. Ah, watching, great show. Hi. Um, would you like me, before I bring my next guest, Nikki has been somebody that has been applying a lot of soul information and things like this to help change her world, and she uses a little bit different language, but at the same time she is doing the exact same thing, and that is the evolution of the soul. um can I give you a soul card for Nikki? Can I give you a soul card? All right, so somebody that you greatly cared about from the past life, or past life, oh well, that too, and in your life in the past, which is conception till now, that's passed over, is present right here, and they wanted to, they, it's a male, wanted to award you a something. I don't know who it is. So just let me know. Just let me know. So it's the lag is always I always find very intriguing. I can give it to you afterwards. I'm just going to write it down if you decide that you want it. Okay, let's bring on our guest. I know you're there. I was just chatting. What the heck? Hi.
Hi, that was interesting.
What?
It didn't want to let me in.
Oh, I didn't let you in right away because I was talking.
Oh, okay. But no, it didn't want to let me into like even the waiting room at first.
Okay. So this card flew out of, you know how cards seem to fly around here. So,
Yes.
um, and it's just, that's interesting. Okay, so just by you coming in and it says, you couldn't get in the waiting room. You couldn't get in to the let's see, the first I gotta name my deck. That's the problem. I can't name my deck. If I name my deck, I could do this, but it's the first step. It's the first step. And the opening of the emotional channel. So as you're coming in, you have to look at the emotions that you may have had prior up to this point. And then it says that your emotional channel is that you're no fantasy, no projection, and no attachment. So did your left brain try to tell you stupid stuff, which our left brains usually do?
Yeah.
So you you have activated because of the healing. You've activated the yin. Now the yin is meant to receive. Now if it's receiving from the left brain without the right brain, it's going to cause a whole havoc of false realities. But in the architect of the four body system, the emotional body has to wake up differently. It has to soften, but you have to learn to receive. I feel like you grew up in a world where women were supposed to pit against women,
Hmm.
or women. Um, I still feel like it's the Yang's men world where men told people how women. So there's some really old, archaic collective here. Okay. So just think about all the crap that you've been working on to changing who you are and stepping into a new field because you're asked to step into it. But now and if I look at your emotional body, is it living to its full potential? And um, yes and no. So if we divided it up and say 500 was the marker to certain stages of it, which I think I'll have a different measuring thing. Um, you are like a little bit over half, which means you've healed something in the last few weeks. And then in tribal, we worked on something very much, and that's where it's measuring to, is that you're changing the way the feminine receives. Okay, not to give. That's not yin's job. It's yang to give and feminine to receive. Does that make sense?
Hmm. Yep. It goes along with my dream.
Ah, good, good. So the Ace of Cups is saying the mental body is paused. It's on its defensive narrative. The physical body says, relax, breathe. It's okay. Open up your chest. You're all right. And then the spiritual body says, a new timeline's available. You haven't stepped on it yet. The door's open. The emotion body's ready to receive it. but it's there. Okay, so that's that. What is it that you want me to address? Hi, how can I help you?
You're digging in just perfect.
Digging in just perfect? Okay. So if we look at this, the value system is not, okay, so just think about values. The values is a container that helps you create reality, but the value system is what's important to you. If your little is saying what's important to me is sanity, or what's important to me is safety, then the body is that physical body is that I need to feel safe and feel sane. But that's not saying for the physical body, it's about health. Okay. So you have this new emotional timeline that you don't have to be the way you used to be, but now you get to go into a higher frequency. You feel safe enough to approach it. And these are people's energies does not have, so if a person comes along, whatever signature it is, does not have to activate the way the yin would constantly collapse. It's presenting itself. And you're pausing and making a soul's choice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I don't feel like you're stuck. It's just like, this is new. But you're not also running the field of saying, oh my God, worst case scenarios. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now the heart is saying, if fear is not guiding me, that means it's safe enough to say, I value, my heart says, I value warmth, curiosity, and softness. Because if your body is running and saying, oh, no, 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 I have to be in fear and I have to use fear to protect myself, then it's not going to feel warm. It's going to, and curious and softness. It's going to say, I have to have safety from, and you value your safety. So we have to look at this new value, this new way of being, if this makes sense. Okay,
It
so
does.
again, I'm looking at the Phoenix. You're on your beginning path. So the Phoenix card one, I think your phase one, I think that's what I'm going to end up using is this emotional timeline is available. The heart is saying it's okay. I'm not going to use fear. I'm going to use spirit, the choice point. The emotional truth rises without pain. So this is you stepping into the new space with clean emotions, like dirty water, trauma water, right? This is clean emotions. Emotions is water. So you're like, oh, yeah. You have to approach life that it's you, the AY, has to stand at the door and say, this doesn't need a knee-jerk reaction. This needs my me to be present and hold different boundaries. So whatever this is does not have to be seen through fear as, oh my God, this is threatening my littles. This is activating my mother womb. This is triggering my mental body defense. This is collapsing my yin. This is distorting the emotional body. But it's not. Your AY is going, I am aware that all these are kicking off at once, but I'm going to stand here and take my power back, take a breath. And I don't really see a strong emotion, but the thing you're working on in tribal, okay, is that you have to wake up to the responsibility that what you saw in your family growing up is that none of them held regret. If they did, they buried it so deep, they didn't really show you how to use empathy properly. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not asking you to regret in a negative sense. That I would say you need heals L2D, having regret. Because the next part of you is not meant to be using negativity to heal yourself. It is to go, oh, I regret thinking, feeling, acting, being, doing, living, breathing, walking, talking, or dreaming. What is the question mark? What? So in your dream, did you have a chance to break it down in any of that? And did you,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
okay, can you share one line out loud or type it? I don't care.
So it it started out where I was at home, wherever home was, and then was at going into a store, but I had a cart full of like snowman pictures and Christmas decorations that I had gotten from my mom, and I she hadn't told me if she wanted me to return them or to go in and see if I could get a discount on them. And I was looking at my phone trying to find the phone so I could call her. Couldn't
Hmm.
couldn't call her. And the friend that I was with had to go to the bathroom, so she took off. I went after her, but lost her in the process. And I found a bathroom, or what I thought was a bathroom, but it was a refurbished WW2 home that the bathroom was pink and white. And then this person told me that that's what it was. And then I'm like, well, I can't use this because it's not, a public bathroom. And so then I went down this hill, and there was a baby ducky on this, I don't know if it was a sled or what it was, with me. And I went down around this corner and saw a sign that said Saturday, like in an overhang. And then I found the bathroom, and then I woke up.
Well, what are your immediately sounds like that all that frozen emotions, the stress, I freeze. I don't know what the next step is. I don't know how to be emotionally. So I have to ask my mother for permission. I have to check in with her. I have to do this. And then when you were going to relieve whatever toxins or whatever no longer served, you couldn't do it somebody else's way, which is the van and the bathroom. You had to find out the old way to, this is how I have to do it. So the new way isn't just because it's somebody else's. The new way is that you haven't learned it yet. The old way is, this is how everybody does it. Okay, so I have to ask permission. I got all, like a good girl, I can't have these emotions because I'm going to get yelled at. If I'm going to let it go, I have to let it go the old way, which is never really let it to go, but make it believe it like it's let go. And I'm still having the same toxic environment over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And did you say your home in Minnesota?
It wasn't necessarily my home in Minnesota. It was like my home. Like right
Okay,
now, this is my home. You know what I
okay,
mean?
right.
Not
So
necessarily the house that I live in Minnesota. No.
okay, so you don't have to worry about the environment constantly being that of how you have to obey. But what you took with you about how you're supposed to do the pattern of being, you're getting, again, you're right. This, what I said, is connected to your dream. So you're looking for a new strategy, but you can't accept it yet. You can't get on that path because you got to keep doing it the old way. So let's discover what the old way is. It feels familiar. It feels safe. It feels like this is how everybody does it. Let's
Hmm.
release the toxins and everything this way. But your way, your soul's way, feels like it's a foreign. So it just like it doesn't feel right, is what you said. I can't do anything here. Okay. So when I'm looking at this, um, your Phoenix, let's see, your Phoenix is in a physical state right now. And on the level it's at level 7. It's at the stage on the physical, is that your system is pausing to evaluate. Familiarity or new way. So when the new way presented itself, it was like, I can't. Think about you going into that home, that refurbished van, right? Or whatever it was.
It was like a house.
Okay. But why couldn't you go to the bathroom there? Why couldn't you get rid of it that way in that space? Why? Why did it not feel right?
Um, because it wasn't a public place.
So it was somebody else's private home. So did you ever
Mm-hmm.
get in trouble for like going to grandma's
No,
house? Aunt? No? Okay. So
not
when
that
I
I can
look at
remember,
this, I
no.
can't get rid of things because it wasn't in a public place. So you're always kind of constantly silent brood. Now, in the fact that your family was in a public eye and we're using a public restroom, I think I know where it's going with this. There's certain habits where you're supposed to feel awkward. Did your mother always tell stories about you?
Mm-hmm.
So if
Yeah.
that's familiar, did she ever embarrass you?
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Okay. What I'm looking at is I'm looking at your 6-year-old self feeling very deficient about how to act and to be with your emotions when your mother said something. And there was a part of you that, so how old were you when you were in the hairdresser's place?
From the time I was probably I remember like being a year and a half and being at where she worked for someone.
Okay.
And then when I think I was like in kindergarten when she got the shop next to dad downtown.
6 years old?
Think it's somewhere between 6 and 7, yeah.
Okay.
This is like first
I'm
grade.
gonna say what, so you went and you were receiving that from the outside, and this is what you learned what relationships were like, and you always felt deficient because you were very timid and shy, but at the same time, I felt like you weren't supposed to be loud. You were supposed to always be passive. You weren't allowed to be
Mm-hmm.
aggressive. You weren't allowed to any of these things. So
Yep.
in the dream, you had to call your mother and ask permission about what? To do what with the frozen cars? Why frozen? Because you said snowmen.
Um, if to see if I was supposed to return them
Okay.
or if I was supposed to see if I could like you bring something back and you can get a deeper discount.
So when you think about what you just said, you have to ask permission about whether you can bring it back. Can you exchange it? Can you um, don't have to pay as much? Okay, this thing just does not want to sit for nothing. So that's a sign. Is that you don't know how to be yourself. I give up. Hold on. Hello. Okay, this is just unbelievable. Okay, so this camera is saying that my image, my thing is all screwed up and it's going to just be crooked. Can I handle it? Am I okay with it? If you're not, then I don't see anybody here. If you're not, go over to YouTube. That's where I'm over there. But I
Mhm.
feel that this is you going, I have to constantly look to see if it's okay to feel a certain way, be a certain way, do
Mhm.
things a certain way. And so you're constantly checking, not with you, your AY, but with your little that said, is mama looking? This I'm doing for her, but not doing for me.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
makes sense? So you're learning that relationships you cannot use love as a weapon. You cannot just be putting all the responsibility onto, like, did you put all the responsibility on your mother? No, she took it. She was in charge, but she's not here. You don't know where to land that energy. Okay, so if the
That
yang
makes
is
sense.
doing this and it's sending out, the yin has to learn to receive and not just be mechanical with relationships. And so you're entering a new phase that you don't know what to do with. So, oh goodness, we may have more vapors. I don't know. I'm hoping not. But what I'm also seeing is there's a part of you that says you're ready to discover more about your values, which are not yours, they're your mother's or your
That
father's.
makes sense. That makes a
And
lot
there's
of
hidden
sense.
story. And if I asked what kind of hidden story are you referring to, they said how she's addicted to certain behaviors. And I said, which one? Well, her biggest one is deficiency. So your soul work is about deficiency and how it served you to stay safe. I value my importance of being safe. So if I stay deficient, then I can have a mom. Why is your eye so big? What's hitting you?
So I was laying here in bed this morning and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with everything. Well, you know what's going on. I'm done with that.
Okay.
I'm done worrying about how I'm going to survive.
Okay.
And so that's why my eyes got so big because I feel like I'm actually ready to let go of that control of how am I going to survive?
All right. So you need to recondition your nervous system. Right now, your nervous system is addicted to that I know aggressive people is all I see. They could be smiling, but they're aggressive. They could be talking to me, but they're aggressive. So you value the important to me that I don't see the aggressive, or it's important to me that I show up because that's all I see. Now, and I feel like there's more words there, but it's part of your soul work is to look at how your nervous system says, I can't handle, cope, deal, process, manage, regulate aggression. I don't want to do it, but then I'm supposed to because that's what I've learned. At the same time, that's not me, but I certainly don't want to receive it. But I think those people are aggressive. I think that person's aggressive. And it's like all the talk that your parents or other people in your society, all that growing up was you're supposed to be aggressive to survive. Okay. So
That makes sense.
So if I'm looking at your meridians, the gallbladder meridian is saying, I learned to self regulate that way. So now you need to find out what the question mark is that way, what I just said. So you may have to rewatch this again and again because because it's like, it's okay to silently brood. I just can't share that. But what is it doing to your nervous system? And your nervous system is saying that the gallbladder is that the way you told the story around 8 years old, there's a hidden story. Nothing doesn't mean that it's horrific. It's just your values. You and I said, was it safety, security, stability, sanity, serenity, space, freedom? You are working on the space, the freedom. And your value system was, I have the freedom to do whatever I want. No, your value system says, I have to react this way. Gotcha. I have to react this way. And if I don't, my pride is going to get wounded. I'm going to have constant hurt. And I said, okay, so your ego is meant to, in the form of spiritual bypassing, is that at 8 years old, you took this issue and you did what with it? Like I threw mine out the window. Some people squash it. Some people bury
I
it and
think I
hide it.
squashed it.
Okay. But you hid it from yourself. Okay. So I feel
Hmm.
like this is part of your hidden story. And you did it to self-regulate. So in the moment, what you just wrote, your nerves, your body, your response of what just physically happened, and it couldn't get out of your head or your emotions or your body. So to self-regulate it, you hid it.
Hmm.
Okay. So to help you so that you don't have to be shocked when it appears, is that it's like you already know. But yet the self-regulation, how you did it, is what the spiritual issue is saying. So you spiritually bypassed by doing that. And now the body and you are like, but we're one and we need to change that value. So the value system of, I can't process this, so I'm just going to do what with it? And that was hide it. It was important to you to just hide it. So you would have used the same self-regulations from that point and built it into your life. Now
Mm-hmm.
you got to
Yep.
start seeing what you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
You have to bring it from you're going to have to say, oh, here's the nuances, and start taking it as the whisper before it has to get up here and has to slap you in the face.
Yes.
Okay, so if I say, what can we give you that would benefit you to help you bring this story out? And that is our 1D self-imposed limitations. You are going to be waking up and you're going to have a response happen, but you have to pay attention as the soul to notice that you just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, this is important to me, is to stop myself or to stop, or you have to wake up to this. Why did I respond this way? Why did I do this? What? Because you're scared, so deathly afraid of aggression, not physical, but
Yeah, emotional,
emotional.
mental.
Yes, but it's more emotional because people process externally and internally, but both can hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like at one point you externally said, give me my passy, and you threw that energy out and you were told that that's wrong. And I feel like you then turned it inside and then corrected yourself, and then it did more damage. And then when your projection, your inner world creates your outer world, you're seeing it when somebody does it, you're like responding to the way, like how your parents, whoever it was like, I can't handle when she's like that. Okay. So begin to hold R2S. I can't handle that. And so you now understand what they felt, but the lesson got lost because you were little. So you are doing two perspectives. One, you told yourself that I can't emotionally express myself. And two, I'm going to be met with somebody that don't know how to handle it, but I'm going to see how they handle it is the way I did, which was to emotionally express it out. Now you feel like you can never do what you want to do, which is express it out. So you have to check in, self-imposed limitations. Mom, how am I supposed to act? Mom, these are frozen. Mom. And then now you're growing up and your soul is meeting people that were like you, which was to emotionally throw it out. Because again, internal, external. And you're looking at them going, I will not do that because I can't do that and I won't do that because I will get just, oh, is this also linked to April? So this might be an important thing for April too. There is a realization that you need to come to at some point. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Now, this is where I would tell you that you need to measure it and tell us the best you can what just happened. You had a realization that kind of hurt, but
Above a
inside your
10.
mind, huh?
It was above a 10. Um, it was like I relate to this my body kind of went into a panic.
Okay. Just breathe with the body and say, body, I'm listening to you. I can feel the moment my yin is collapsing. I can feel how I cannot receive. I can feel how I have to protect myself. But I want you to feel the feelings that your little was never able to process. Because your story is connected to the word, as long as I'm deficient, I am safe around these people. Your soul work is the word deficient. Does this make sense?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I keep hearing I can't something near emotions. Can't handle.
Okay. Feel how the vector of the energy, they were external. It was loud. It was projected.
It's like a gut punch.
A gut punch, yeah. And this is where yin goes, oh my God. And then yang goes, oh my goodness. And then you go into the self-imposed limitations to protect thyself. So now every time you're about ready to do something, you catch and you actually go through the value list. Oh my God, is this safe to do? Can I do this? What did I learn? Nope, I can't. Do. You go through the whole list and then out comes, it's like writing as you're writing and you want to use this really great word, but you can't figure out how to spell it. And you're like,
Uh-huh.
screw it. So you find a whole nother sentence and a whole nother word to describe what
Yep.
you want. Okay. She's using soul code. Which one did I tell you? R2S.
Hard to us.
And she's looking at the certain amount of feelings of familiarity, a certain amount of panic, but this is the karmic debt aspects that she's working on because she chose not to be whole to protect herself. Then you will have to constantly do a cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect. But it's now where it's a karmic debt issue, which is costing her healthy energy to create a life, be a life, you name it. Why did I shut this off? For those that are listening, it sounds convoluted until you listen. But then when you begin to listen, and then each of these points, and then it wraps up and you start to hear how they're connected. And she's holding this point and she's feeling the feelings. Now, you're not sitting there going, it's because.
No, we're watching this show and I'm hearing the one blonde character, "Hey girls."
Yes. Okay.
Only what she's saying is, "Hey y'all, we can let this shit go."
Yes. I I can see that character.
So that character is, I think, my right now, my higher self telling all of my littles and shadows and all of those other aspects that you don't have to hang on to the deficiency anymore. It's time to let it go. That was the past, and we can't take that with us into this new part of life that we're starting.
That's correct. So you're not sitting there going because. It is feeling and
Mm-mm.
noticing these other parts of yourself that says, I can, or let it go. So you're getting higher self instructions. Did I just draw on myself? Yes, I did. Good job.
Oh
That's what stain remover's for.
no. Uh-huh.
And while we're letting her emotionally process, you can always follow, like on Facebook, and get these memes. Now, if you're really interested in soul codes to be able to help heal yourself on a deeper level, then you'll see musical notes, musical spirit messages, and like spirit will speak to you. And as you hear it, sometimes you can just be happy, but then there might be some self-sabotage programs that stop you, or there's a program that's negative to this, but I put soul codes and the emotions underneath so that when you understand that song, you're like, oh, yeah, yeah. And then look underneath and you're like, oh, yes, I relate. I need to heal those out. And then you have the soul codes to do it, which is to take you in either hand. And so it's L or R. Soft or deep is the pressure. And the positions is a fingernail width, and you're going to go 1, 2, 3, line them up under the thumb on either hand. So you'll hear R1S, it'd be right wrist, first position soft. That's the code. But now you take the heel of the palm, touch it here. The fingers have to touch here. So whether it's a thumb like this or the fingers like this, you need to be able to hold. Now, what do you do with these extra fingers? Okay, because the thumb takes place and then one goes in the palm and the other go safety, scared, stability. Then you line it up. Now, it's important that you measure and hold. Ooh, she's shifting. I can feel it. So you measure and hold the way you know it, the way you know it. This is my story. This is the way I know it. And when you tap into it that way, then you'll get to tap into the sensory system. And you, wait, what? So somebody said, do I do ASMR? I don't do it based on how other people do it, but it's an autonomous sensory meridian response. I work with the meridians. I help you work with your body, which is in the meridians and the sensory systems and the emotions and connecting so that your body can create from anxiety to calm. I use a different tool, which is success hope therapy, that can get you there.
Yes, Devin, she does.
Why didn't I see that? Where's she at?
The MWS TikTok.
Oh, my screen keeps shutting off. See, it's not letting me have anything she said. Oh, it just popped in. Well, what the heck? Yeah, Devin, I can help you after I'm done with I can't see it on the MWS TikTok because it keeps cutting off. You get paid later this week. Makes me wonder if you are ready for tribal.
I think she is. Oh, and I think I'm at a 0.
Yeah, I feel like you're at a 0. Yes. So now what I want you to do to help people understand that this is real-time healing with real-time results, how do you know that you got a real-time result?
Well, just as soon as you said something, I don't exactly remember what it was that you said, but my body went into a panic. I went into tears, and that's a shit show. And then you gave me the point to hold. And so as soon as I started holding that, my body started to realize that it was okay. And then you let your thoughts run, but you don't control them. You don't, it's because of this, it's because of that. And as I was holding, I eh, heard this character say in my head, "Hey, y'all, it's time to let this shit go."
Good. See, you're
Which
also building.
yeah. And so I'm like, okay. And it's like every age that I've ever been in the shadow, it's like they all lined up and they're looking at me going, "We can really let this go?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's okay." And then I saw different scenarios of snippets, and it's not like a movie picture, it's just like a picture of, "Oh, I remember that. Oh, I can let this go. Oh, I can let that go. Oh, okay." And then all of a sudden it's like, "Hmm." And then the energy moves and my body wanted to move, so I let my legs do the run. And you just kind of go with the flow of it. And all
You
of
know
a
when
sudden
it's
it was
done.
like, I'm done.
Yeah.
You just know. really.
So
Um,
how's the story change? I know it this way. I know it this way. How did that change? What did the words, the emotions, I mean, the sensations, of course.
the emotion change, the when I look back at that part of deficiency where I'm sitting in my mom's shop having to be this pretty little girl in the corner. It's like, no, I can be bold. I can be who I want to be. And it's like, oh wow, this is cool.
So does healing with success hope therapy help you build your intuition as well?
Absolutely.
So you thought you had good intuition, but when you started to heal the emotions out of the stories, which change the belief systems, which ends up changing the value system, would you say that you are less or more or the same with your intuition? What kind of intuition? Because before I feel like it was more ego intuition.
It was ego into when I first met you, it was definitely ego intuition, but now it's more my soul speaking. And now my intuition has definitely amplified on a spiritual level where I can see things different. I see things differently than I did.
And that changes so that when you go to look at something, it's not always about filter. You have a new filing system that helps you look
Hmm.
through and go, which
Yes.
you're changing the ego lens. And you don't have to think the same way as before. You don't have to act the same way as before, a knee-jerk response. You've had several moments where you're standing with your soul choice while an experience is happening, and you're like, I could do the old way, but I don't need to. Do you remember them? I've watched you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it, you know, when you make that different choice and not the same old response, it changes your outer world dramatically.
Can you give an example?
Like um the other day in the kitchen, you had something going on. He was talking and you just you couldn't handle what was coming and you left. Normally I would run after, but I didn't. I stayed and communicated a different way.
Good. So you had to recreate the scenario as a kid of mom and dad,
Mhm.
where
Yep.
mom can't handle dad. And for
Yep.
me, I was aware that I was, oh God, I hope she learns this because I ain't going to show up this way again for her. Um, so I just went with it because emotionally I couldn't do anything else. And you got to see how you used to do it. And you're like, but I'm not controlled by shame or guilt or fear. You
Right.
standing into is your AY self is looking and going, how come I'm not being emotionally triggered to do this auto response? That means that you've collapsed that pattern. And you're starting to stand there and understand more about who you want to be when you grow up and the choices that you want to make. And you passed it. You passed your test. You literally, I'm not that personality pattern there.
Mhm.
Whoa. It's an experience that makes you feel that you can be very proud of yourself on a
Mhm.
soul level. Does that
Yes.
make sense?
It does.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for everything you do. And keep doing
You're
it, keep
welcome.
growing, keep healing, and we'll see you in Tribal tomorrow.
Absolutely.
All right. Love you, hon. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
I hope you guys are getting something out of this because I know I am. I love listening and working through all the stuff that I do here. It's not just for me, it's for you, it's for other people. So when you hear other people's story and you resonate, use the healing tools. Would love to get the message out even more so that a beautiful transformation about how the meridians respond and tell the story and how the emotions and how the mental body basically plays off of the emotions because that's how it was memorized, and how you can actually literally begin to heal on a deep level. You can do more than just have to suffer, because now it is just an option, and your body and you can begin to say, you're right, it is an option. Okay, I'm looking, Devin, did you have a question? Let's see, I don't think this is working right. Just waiting for her to see. I gotta find the right screen. That's the trickery part here. Nope, not there, not there. Did she disappear? Again, learn the cell codes. I'm going to start dishing them out for free. Go look at the memes. Go look at, can you relate to certain emotions? This is where I'm stuck at. This is what we're doing. Okay, remember to hit the thumbs up and share. Yeah. Okay. So Dabin, just looking because she said something, but I don't see it. And I was saying, Davin, if you are here, you may be wanting to think about beginning tribal, which is to work on issues, life issues, seeing things differently, so that you work not just on the personal. That one's not working very well. And I only see I see, it got stuck. Jeez. Your gums again. Hold on. They're not healing. Okay, so yes, we will talk about your gums. So your timestamp, of course, is the clock behind me. Let's look on the soul level of where your gums are for Davin. Oh, thank you so much for coming on the other screen. Just makes it easier. Okay, so first of all, on a physical level, are you using salt water? Can you use salt water? Rinse them out. What are you doing physically for them? Okay, vitamin C, usually you may, again, talk to your doctor, talk to whoever. But yes, you physically have to step up for this physical body. Sometimes we have to, salt water them, get them healthy, brush them if you're not brushing, 2 or 3 times a day to clean, floss, but also check your vitamin C's because usually that'll be your gums usually start to represent that. Yes, growth after losing a tooth. Okay, some kind of growth. Gum growth after losing a tooth. Definitely start cleaning out this area because in the mouth there's such unhealthy bacteria. But let's look at the energetic reason why on a soul level would you start having your gum issues, or your body says, hey, I have a disrupt somewhere in my life, and this is how my body or my meridians are saying, that I have to have gum issues. And we're going to see where you're at. Okay. Where is your phoenix at? Where's that part of you? Give me 1 second to take, and still not quite ready to get this information out there. I drew 3 soul cards, and we're going to see where you are at. Okay. And we have a 4-body system, but I'm curious of how they're all working together. You seem to be on 2 different timelines. You are learning to be a new person, but the old part of you is still quite emerging. And so when you start to integrate to become the new person, these old patterns, personality, the way you think, the way you respond, tries to bring its emotional baggage into this integration, and your persistent gum discomfort, um, it could be for other reasons. Like I said, begin to work with your physical body on this, like find out from a doctor or whatever, um, about vitamin C, and talk to your dentist. But the mental body is trying to guide the emotional body to safety. Okay. Um, but the part of you that is living in the disrupt, I feel like you're about 3 years old. And your 3-year-old self had joy, and then it had this major disrupt. And so your littles are saying, I have to distance myself from this pain. And I'm saying, well, what kind of pain are you distancing yourself from? Um, I don't want to have to overcompensate. I don't always want to. I feel like so I want you to take and look up what is compensation. I have to compensate. I want you to look what that word means for yourself. What do I think it means? Then look it in the dictionary and do the soul work, because you're like, I don't want to over give, over compensate. I don't want to. And I feel like at 3 years old, you were watching a family member or two, whatever, and this is their communication style, was to, oh, let me take care of that. Let me do this. Oh, over compensating, because they feel like some things, again, you look up this word, and what happens is that you're like, I am not doing that. Again, you're not doing that. So your littles is trying to distance yourself from old pain, old ways of that. And the nervous system is tempt to shift out of that stress. But you're stuck in survival mode, repair mode, survival mode, repair mode, because you're aging. So the physical body says, what do you want me to do with the energies? Because pretty much they're not moving. So the physical body is under strain, because the emotional body tries to move away, so they get towards and away from. And so you want to heal away from the discomfort. So I'm going to tell you your soul code is right wrist, first position, deep, R1D. Okay. R1D, and what, but only if you can relate to understanding the word, oh, I get it. I've had that experience. Um, R1D. Or if your body and you're thinking of your gums and they're acting that way, you can just do R1D and focus on the gums, maybe not emotions or words or behavior, but you can focus on that. You can measure it in different ways. So as I'm looking at how, um, so your system is trying to move out of the state of irritation, but hasn't fully arrived at the healing phase yet. So that's why the gums are like, because you're growing and staying in the old pattern. Now, the other card, the soul card I picked up, has a lot to do with defensiveness, overprotecting, guarding your space. So as you're seeing people act this way, you're like, no, I don't want this. And then there's a party that may want to act this way, but you're like, no, I won't do that. So the 3-year-old self is on alert and checking, and oh, no, I got to do this, can't do that, don't do this. It's in a defense mode stage. Okay. Now you're right in the middle. The way that your growth pattern of 1 to, I think I have the cards 1 to 13, the growth pattern of 6 and 7 is that you are in the transitional state. Now, the part of it where you are, I think, at 12 on the level, is that you're getting more mental body clarity. You can feel the mental body of, I'm getting clarity and I need boundaries. And you're using your discernment a lot more. So you must be using the soul codes, the healing tools, because your bodies are beginning to spiritually grow. And this card is saying, I need to set better boundaries. Or I need to speak a little bit more truth, my truth. And you're like, this is what I need. So you're learning to speak the need. You're learning to be a little bit more stronger, decisive, with your health. So the mental body is finally ready to take action instead of pushing discomfort aside. Your thoughts are going, I need clarity. I am going to care for my body a lot more, and I'm checking in. And so the mental body, the narrative of how the mental thoughts are, you're getting stronger with your truth, with your spirit, instead of just being over identifying with matter and just being ego. Does this make any sense? Okay, guess that's part of why I can't sleep longer than 2. Yes, because why am I getting that? Is because I say, so why can't you sleep past like 2 or 3 hours? And that is because I have to limit myself. And I said, why do you have to limit yourself? Why do you have to wake up? Why are you doing this? Because um, I have to do the right thing. And so the body is going, checking in and pulling you awake, because what I'm looking at is that I, for so long, felt, and I don't like to use these words, but I feel like somehow, whether you picked it up from them or they project out to you, that you feel unworthy. Now, for you, you're like, but maybe I don't relate to that word. But I also feel like you pick up other family members that may be going, she gets too much attention. I don't know how many people are in your family, but they may be in an envy, or they may be in a jealousy, or they may be looking and seeing that they didn't get that same attention, and so they feel like they're not worthy. But at the same time, you are picking up and learning about what unworthiness is. And so you're looking at more than one emotion, looking at more than one response. Do you understand what I'm saying? So your soul work is overcompensation. Your soul code would be R1D. That would maybe make sense why I feel the way I do, or have recently, like I can't do any jobs due to physical reasons. Yes, the body will be. Okay, so if I look at you, you can say, okay, yes, my physical body was like this. But if I look at 3 years old, you have joy, but there was an interrupt. Now, that interrupt was so strong that it can change the way your DNA uh, can be in a healthy state. So it can, you have to restrict it, you have to control those energies, and your body starts to shape around it. You start making decisions about life because you're looking at life, and life is coming at you, and you're like, oh my God, this looks familiar. And the body says, oh, I figured it out the first time I solved it, and we got to go and do that. Now you're getting older, and the first time that you solve it is not working. And you're like, I can't do this anymore. So you can feel you're growing out of your pattern. But now we need to get you more in your soul space so you can say, I don't need my left brain just to make sense of it and make up crap. I want my whole self to get this so that I can get the wisdom and just start to evolve and get everlasting results. Okay, so the way you first responded, from what I understand, was that you learned that I'm supposed to overcompensate. This is their behavior. This is what they do. I'm supposed to do that, says mirror neurons. But there was a part of you that can't physically. So you do it in a different way, or I can't do that, because I hear a big nod as well. You're meant to show people differently of how you can respond in the family. Does that make sense? Thank you so much, Devin, for supporting. I really do appreciate you. She said, I think so. Okay, so go heal. You're so worth it. My soul cards are showing that you are using the tools, and it's working on the mental, the emotional, the spiritual bodies, and now you're ready to start healing the physical form even more so, which does change the inner world. Then the definitions change and you start projecting out a better world. for the salt water, I only need enough to swish daily, right? Yes, yeah. A small amount. I think it's a teaspoon or a half a teaspoon. You'll have to look it up in AI and all that, or Google. And you just slightly warm water, not hot, not cold, just enough to it melts the crystals. Don't use the one. Well, I guess it don't matter if you use the one with that, but I use the pink salt. But you can use any salt. Just make a saline water, and I can't remember what the ratio is, but then you just make a little swish and don't swallow it, just swish, 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 swish. If you're allowed to swish, because you said something about your tooth, because we don't want to create a dry socket, we don't want to cause any problems. That's why I said, disclaimer wise, if your tooth, have you seen a dentist? But even if you just put salt water in your mouth, and don't have to swish hard if you can't, if you need to start to repair it. Okay, tooth has been gone for a while. Okay, good. It didn't even bleed. Oh, okay. All right. So you're good. Then you can start to swish. That's what normally people say. But again, if you want to go for a professional, this is just based on my experience and my opinion. Ouch! You lost it when you ate something. Okay, well, it was needed to go. And now we're going to get up and we're going to help our body further because it needs us and we need it to create a life. And, but you get it. You get it. It's good on you. Thank you so much, Davin. Davin, I'm also have, just in case you didn't know, I also started, this is a Medicinewoman Solution Classics. And if you can go over to my new YouTube, Medicinewoman Solution, that's SOLUTION, and support me there, that'd be great. My dentist did say I needed my molars out, so I guess I took it out. Power suggestion, Evan. Dandelion Light. Why? I can't put into mind. How are you? Have I done a reading for you before or not? If you'd like one, then I can get you some soul codes or some soul information, or a soul card. That's up to you. Oh, exit? No, go back. Why do I know Dandelion Light? I do and I don't. It's weird. My brain is not sure what's going on. Yes, you did reading you a few years ago. Okay, that's the familiarity. I haven't seen you in a while. Well, welcome back. I can still give you a quick little read because I'm in the mood to do so. So if you want one, you can have it for free. Love tuning in when I can on Sundays. So yes, because today's Monday for me in Australia and Mondays or Sundays for you. Yes, you must be from America. Um, I have a new YouTube channel. I keep in the classic. This is the classic, but I also have a new one that has just Medicinewoman Solution. That's the SOLU spelled correctly. So if you could like that as well, that would be great. I'm in a new phase. Oh, okay. Oh, this is a new thing on my show. It says, thank you for watching. Got it. Participate. I don't know what that was. Okay, I appreciate that. Just let me know. What is this? I don't even know what a pre-sale is. If you have a specific question, let me know. Devin says, I think I found it also. You can probably link that channel here to make it easier. Oh, okay. So I don't know where my, I will see if I can go get it. I have to go get it the other way. It'll look like me, but it has a blue background. Just so you know. Bet you that's the other way around, isn't it? Gonna get the link. Yep, wrong one. No, that's correct. There it is. Okay, so the handle would be Medicinewoman Solution dash soul, SOUL. But I will go ahead and get the link and give it to you. So appreciate that. Let's see if that'll work. There you go. Oh, it's the white background. Why is it white? Oh, blue. I'm going to have to match those up. So the blue background is on Facebook because I started a page too. So go find that as well. It has the blue background. This one has the white one. Okay, that sounds wonderful, Dandelion. And do you have a just general? Okay, give me a minute and okay. Now I use my own personal soul codes and soul cards, and they're showing me surface. They're showing me surface, and that means we're looking at a surface level. I'm looking, you're looking out, you seem pretty happy, and then you keep going like this, and I'm like, why are you showing me that? And in this case, your soul, again, it's the way that you're looking. It's not that you're surprised, but it is, your soul says, I'm looking at a particular thing. Now, give me a second to do this. Okay. Yeah, I haven't quite designed my cards to be in hard form, so I only got it on. So now I know what the cards are. It's based on a bird, phoenix. Surprise! The surface level communication distortion. So I'm looking at the hesitation in communication. There's an insistent message, stops themselves mid-thought, overthinks before speaking, appears confident but internally unsure. Avoid saying the real thing directly. Mental body is running really fast, and then all of a sudden it slams the brakes. So I can feel energetically that your yang energy field collapses and then spikes. And then the mental body is not aligned with the emotional body because you're afraid of saying too much or saying the wrong thing. They're trying to manage the interaction instead of relax. That's the first card. That's the first. And it'd be I think that's the 11th. So you're really close at manifesting certain situations. Yes, I have a blockage. Okay, so it's there. Now, the second card, again, it goes with looking at how you are being using your awareness with spirit on a surface level, but you're inside the ego. Okay, so you've manifested and understood from 0 to 13, and 13 is like, yeah, I'm doing it well. But your soul is saying, and I feel like you're here where you want to begin to go backwards, healing backwards. So you don't do this and then you build up the new pattern. So where I'm looking at is I'm seeing that the next part of your phoenix is that you've really been good at in the shadow that I am calm, I am confident, I'm controlled, I'm collected, I'm neutral, I'm unbothered. Okay. But internally, now this is where I'm watching. Okay. Their confidence dips, their physical body gets shy, their emotional body gets warm, and their attracting makes themselves, their attraction makes themselves conscious. So the fire then collapses into a quiet flicker. So when you start to pull into receive with yin, you don't receive with yin, you're supposed to receive to give with yang, but you are doing it in reverse. You are saying, with my yin I'm supposed to quiet, supposed to receive, but your yang then tries to take instead of receive. So we have receive and to give, and it's supposed to be this harmony. But you've had moments in your life where it's just kind of blocked you, if that makes sense. So the mental body, you're in your head, the narrative is that here's the truth, but it may not come out of your mouth, if that makes sense. Yes, this is so me. The calm, collected, not showing how stressed I am and holding back. Yes. Okay. Do you understand that you came here and part of it is this isn't working for me the way I want? Now, on every other level of being human, it works. It works. But I feel like you got awakened and and started to download some codes that your soul is saying it's ready for more than just being human. So I think you're ready to become more of a spiritual human. You're ready to um, start creating the unity in yourself. And you have to look at these things that I just said and say, I don't want them anymore. They're not helping me. They're actually hurting me because it's creating spiritual debt, creates karmic debt, and it's creating that I create a stall, a stagnant. And I want more than that. Oops, I want more than that. And as I look at this, and just by asking and listening to what my ears are ringing, but it's weird. It's not in my ear. It feels like it's ringing here. It's a very interesting, interesting ring, if I might say so. Oops, there was my stand again. Oops, now I'm crooked again. Good one, Bryn. Whatever. Okay, so now I'm looking at this and um, so I'm looking at you physically doing something that's kind of stuck. Is you're right in the middle of the number, like a 6. So you're physically stuck. And what I'm seeing, your overload, carrying too much emotional weight. Has that started causing the physical weight as well? I'm just curious because usually when it starts causing the physical weight, it becomes uh, anyway, I'm looking and it says I'm busy, burdened, focused, responsible, carrying a lot, pulled in multiple directions. So I'm looking at you at overload, which causes you to stall because it's like, oh, so that you're strained, you're tired, you're overloaded, and your emotional body is compressed. So you're over responsible. You're over responsible. Are you responsible for other stuff right now? Because it's like, yes, I was downloading codes last night. Yes, very strong streams. And you're still downloading them, by the way, just not as you just don't notice it, but it's the same streams. You got 2 in the front and 1 in the back because you're meant to experience the life experience while you download these, just so you know. Speak light language, do spirit singing, but only occasionally. Okay, so now I'm going to look at this card where the sole primary cards you need the structure, the control, the discipline, the containment, how you manage yourself. Okay, so you're showing yourself, no, I am not overweight. Okay, but but my medication makes it hard to lose weight. Oh, that's the part I'm feeling then. Very emotionally overwhelmed. Oh, well, we can begin to help you with this, but this is important that you understand that you're stuck. How you discipline yourself, how you self-control, emotional containment, boundaries. What am I supposed to do with these emotions? It's just a really strong overwhelm from what I can see. Um, so physically, your energies are not even, so you give unevenly, you hold back more than you offer. The yin energy is very restricted because of different experiences in your life, which causes you not to be in harmony. So to take care of this emotional overwhelm right now, I would like you to decide, how do I know it? On a scale from 0 to 10, 10 plus is like, oh my God. And 0 is, yeah, what? That's not my story. kind of just like, oh, it's there. But if you can only use pictures or colors, that's fine. Numbers would be better. But you have a pattern of showing that you shut down because it's too much. And so your soul code would be, so your soul homework is shut down emotionally. And I said, where did you first learn that you shut down emotionally? And it was about 3 months old. So you watched everybody around you, and this is what you're supposed to do. The biggest thing for you is that was the monkey see, monkey do. But when you shut down at age 12, you emotionally shut down because of the outside was, whatever the outside did, you felt helpless and you didn't like that feeling. Okay. So you didn't know what to do with it. So you shut it down. However you shut it down is important, because I threw mine out the window because I couldn't handle it. I've locked parts of myself away because I didn't want to, but it's coming to the surface now because you need that life force. And so it's asking for integration. So you're going to need to do your soul code of left wrist, second position, soft. Okay. So left hand, measure it with your fingertips underneath your thumb, 1, 2. Then you put your thumb there nice and soft, not deep, finger in palm, safety, security, stability. This palm goes to the forehead and drop your hand. Now, if you go like this, that's fine too. But sit there and measure, hold and measure your feel, and just sit into the feel. And if you're looking, oh, to age 12, you're like, oh God, I remember that. Just breathe with the body and feel. Don't control the thoughts, let them come in. Now, if you start saying, because of this, your body is saying, I have to control it. Just let that go. You may want to write down some statements so it shows you what's important to you. My safety's first, because eventually you're going to have to begin to heal your values. Does that make sense, Dandelion? So I said, is there any other code at this point? And I'm getting, you're used to letting it play out. So your old pattern, your old part, the ego part, is going to say, how I did it was I had to let it play out. The age that you're in now are like, I can't do that anymore. It's too much. I just can't do it anymore. Does that make any sense? So do you understand the soul code and the soul homework? Because you're meant to heal backwards by noticing how you done it so well to survive. And as you start to break down the emotional chemical peptides by using success hope therapy, and the body starting to restore itself, and you're getting those light, your life force that's to the disrupt. Now you've had stages. So another big point in time for you was not just 12, but 16, and that outer world. Okay, there's something about the way the outer world was. Another very significant time, I don't know how old you are, but if you're 44, or if you know somebody at 44, or there's something about fours. Maybe you have an issue with fours or what, but it looks like an age to me, but I don't know how old you are. It could be outdating. This could be a future thing. But the point is that you're like, so you have to decide, I'm done playing it out. We're going to feel it and heal it right now. Give me your feedback. Tell me if that makes any sense. Yes, it all makes sense. So much sense. Are you worth healing by just doing it? Yes. Is it going to hurt if you don't do it? You're going to stay the same. How would it help? Yeah, just working with the body, working with the soul, and working. You're 35. Okay, so someone that you saw was 44. And there's somewhere you don't want to repeat something. So it's showing me that your next big repeat is about something in 44, about what we've been talking about. And the part of your body says, do I have to do it again? And the soul says, no, because when issues like this come up, your soul is saying, can you heal it now? And that's where you're at. And the body says, I see it in the past. I don't want to repeat it in the future. But I think what you did, I know, I feel like at 44, you may repeat this. It's not trying to tell you the power of suggestion, but I think what you did was saw somebody at whatever age you were that was 44. That's how I'm going to handle it, or that's how I know it. So, like, if you really like watching soap operas, we look at the catalog of life and say, I'm going to try to do that. But you're learning from here is to take and hold this so that your body can start to say, no, I don't emotionally need to do my first. I don't emotionally need to keep responding this way. I'm going to break the pattern that's automatic. Okay. You can rewatch this as many times as you want because it is going to be on. Okay. All right. Now, again, we're not blaming them. This is our experience that we've had with people that we capture in time, and we take it in for whatever value reason it was to take that in. And whether the people are in your space or not, you're going to recreate a stand-in that's going to say, maybe they can't be here for whatever reason, but you're going to see that signature in me, and you're going to do that auto response again, and your soul says, can you heal it now? Okay. So from this point, you're just like, who am I? What am I doing? It's a huge one. She's amazing, but was unhappy with the circumstance. Yes. Yes, my mother was amazing too. We all have ways to cope, handle, and deal in those eras of time. But when you come to realize that where you're at and you feel like you're a mess, we have to understand that all they did too. They were a mess. They're not, mom and dad and family are a mess. They're not gods, they're not perfect, but we don't realize this. And then when we get that age, we're like, it's not about getting mad at them. It's about, I can heal these inherited or these epigenetics or these patterns. They weren't the one, but my soul is ready so that you can heal yourself, but you can then also help heal your patterns of your family as well as the collective. You're helping the grand convergence to come back to unity. Does this make sense? Yes, exactly. She did so much for us. Yes, but you don't have to sit there and have to wear yourself down and doing the same pattern. You may like that quality and you value that, but at the same time, you can learn to put boundaries. It blows my mind, but I think she's happy enough. Good. Okay. Good. Some people don't ever grow. They were not designed to grow. They were designed to just be the story and the environment. And yet there's some people that are meant to wake up and help change the world. And it's not our jobs to change the world, but our inner world creates the outer world, and we start changing timelines. And you know that you're ready because you are a tie-dye sheep and you are meant to wake up and not do it like they do it, that society, that group, that church, that business, that wait a minute. And you start to come in alignment with your heart and your soul. And so you are healing heart and soul. But you can heal them through the emotions, and you can heal them by letting and breaking up those emotional chemical peptides so that the thoughts don't have to be prisoner. They break up and your thoughts become healthier. And it starts creating a new world for you. And that's part of your job, is to create a whole new world for yourself. And that energy expands out, and other people that want to grow with you will grow with you. But a lot of people fear that the people they love will not grow with them, so they stunt their own growth, and then they repeat this karmic thing because fear becomes the leader. But when you heal it, you'll get it. You get it. You understand on a soul level, and you're like, yeah, my value is, that's more important to me. Okay. Thank you so much, Dandelion Light. That was fun. And thank you so much for caring about yourself and for pain and creating a movement. That is really good. I appreciate that. All righty. Um, I am going to check in again to see if there's anybody else here, and I think we're good. Just remember to help me start building up the new website, not website, sorry, Facebook, as well as the YouTube, and that would be great because I'm in a new phase and I'm ready to start to come out of that ground and start to grow and get stronger and blossom. Thank you. Yes. Hashtag you can heal that. Hashtag resolve to evolve. Heal instead of deal. When in doubt, grab a healing tool and begin to heal it out. And when you do, hashtag feel it to heal it, you will be so proud of yourself. Dandelion says, so this is so helpful. Thank you. I was imagining a better healed world last night and trying to put that energy out there. It is because you attracted me in to hear what the soul needed to hear. Now you can support your soul and your physical body more and more. And when you start to listen with your higher self, more and more. So you're standing here with your higher self, watching yourself go through stuff, and you're not judging. You're using discernment, going, did I just give my power away? Did I just think that that was a good thing? Did I just take? No, I don't want to do that anymore. You will begin to grow because you're creating a new life. Yes. Let me see if it's still having it here because I put it up above. Ah, it is still there. Yes. This one is the classic, and it's gonna have all because it's like right now you only see for about 500, but there's about 1,000 videos. And I have to rechange the format because YouTube changed the format, and I was really sucky at it before, but I learned a lot of new stuff, and that is my new YouTube. And I'm ready to hit that new phase. So I need to build that up. I don't have enough people, so I can't go live, but I probably will go live in both formats anyway, the classic and the new one. The new one's going to be basically a lot of short forms so that it's easier to digest the chunks. And if you're looking forward to wanting to grow faster, we have what's called a tribal, and it is you pay for four weekly 1 hour, but I usually give you more than 1 hour. And usually, if there's an extra week, that's thrown in there as free. We work not on just we don't really just do individual. I can't say that because last week I individually made sure that people can start working on their stuff because of the way the energy was. But otherwise, it is on the concepts. And then once you learn and heal the concepts and change that, you're changing and creating a new foundation and your relationship to your new timeline and to the health. And you get to move, and you're also helping to change the collective. A bad day that I try and think of, okay, what it was sometimes when I have a bad day that I try and think of better days possible. So thank you, bad days, for the inspiration. Yes, yes, you learn. Yes, because when you begin to heal, you really get to hear with a higher intuition, and you really get to hear how your soul gets to teach you how to become a spiritual human, the unification in you, that you can have heart brain coherence, and that love is what gets to operate through you. But if you choose to, we like tomorrow, Aussie time is 10 a.m. I don't know where you're from, but you can look at the time date calculator and you put down South Australia, or Adelaide, and 10 a.m. on Tuesday, and then you put your state in, and then it should tell you the time that you need to show up. And then, yes, it costs. If you just want a one-time thing to experience, it's $15, which you have to let me know ahead of time so I can make sure we make arrangements to get you the link so that then you can come in. And if you choose to join, it's then $42 USD. And you get a lot out of it. You get to watch all the reruns, you get to learn all those other things. That goes not just for Dandelion and Davin, it is for anybody. You're learning how to heal emotional patterns and build a new timeline. Thank you so much for everything. I appreciate you letting me come into your world and How may I help is what we are looking at. Yeah, so if you're on Eastern, it's 8:30, Central is 7:30, Mountain is 6:30, and Pacific is 5:30. I invite you to come in to a world that if you're ready for, so you can move mountains, so you can really get real-time growth, and you'll get support in a different way, because the groups are not this. I don't handle the group like other people handle the group. Okay, we do it by healing. We do it by growth of healing the soul. That's what we do. You're welcome. Again, anybody's invited, but only those that are ready. And no shame, but you'll know, just like you knew to come here today. Thank you for letting me serve you. All right, everybody. I will be here next week, and I'll be in Tribal tomorrow. So you guys have a good rest of the day. You're already blessed. You're already whole. So I do work Tuesday nights, but would love to join. Okay, well, here's the thing, though. You can always rewatch. There's some people that can't ever come, so they rewatch and then they make comments to me or to the group. But a lot of people just stay quiet because they just read the instructions or watch instructions and apply it, and then they can do some healings. So Mondays, if you're in the States, it would be Monday nights. If you're in Australia, then it'd be Tuesday nights. So Mondays, that's a good point there, Amy. Yeah. You got to decide, because your soul, it sounds like it's ready to be devoted to get over the just being human part is why. Normally I don't usually talk about it because there are a lot of people that aren't in that space, but two of you are ready tonight to really think about it. And that's why I put it out there. Otherwise I just leave it and let people decide. I'll start devoting it to yourself. Just contact me. You can go to Facebook or even through here. But Facebook, at least it's more private. And then, you pay just like you did here. Like I said, for a month, it is $42, which is a steal for what you get. Reach out to her. Oh, I see what you're saying. But if you find Medicinewoman Solution in Messenger, you can say, I saw you on YouTube, or I don't know who you are. Or you can go over to Facebook and talk to me through there, through messaging. You can do that. But anyway, not trying to push it. Again, I felt like your soul was saying something. So if you choose to do it, I don't think I can. Hold on. I don't know what they're doing. They're telling me I can do what? No. Oh! Well, I just caused my thing to... What did I do? Huh. They had a feature where I could actually click and I could give you private information, but apparently that's not there anymore. See? Didn't even know that. Anyways, you can contact me through Facebook. One way or the other, we get together. All right. You are already blessed. You're already whole. So stay blessed and happy healing. And I have to hit a couple things before I do anything else.